What is up, YouTube? Dottz Gaming here with the second video in my 2H guide. So, if you haven't watched the first video covered talents, glyphs, and stat priority. So, that's my phone, excuse me. If you have not checked that video out, I would highly recommend taking a look at it. The third video after this will cover abilities and rotation, but this video is covering my macros. So, again, same as before, same reasoning. I have my target arena 1, 2, 3 macros. I use macros instead of putting it in my keybinds, just because I don't know. It's what I've always done, and I just kind of stuck with it. My same thing with focus macros, focus arena 1, 2, 3, and then I have my cancel aura macro. So again, when you steal an ability with Dark Sim, such as Bot, Ice Block, Divine Shield, Dispersion, you're gonna want to possibly cancel those if you really need to. But the biggest thing here that we're actually going to probably get use of is canceling the Breath of Sindragosa aura if we need to, you know, just so we don't waste any unnecessary runic power. So, you know, let's say you go to burst on somebody and they blink out of it, you know, instead of just unnecessarily wasting all of this runic power you have, just cancel the aura and, you know, save up some of that runic power. So then, in terms of my macros here, this is my big old Breath of Sindragosa macro that would go right there. It pops my breath. I have the exclamation point in front of Breath of Sindragosa so that I can't cancel it with this macro, because, you know, in the heat of the moment, if I like accidentally click it twice, it would cancel it. I also cast my Pillar of Frost. I also do my trinket, and, you know, if you have any potions, Blood Fury, if you're an orc, you know, stick all of that stuff in this macro. This is your big burst macro. Pops everything. So again, we have a focus mind freeze. Simple. Cast target equals focus mind freeze. Same thing for Dark Sim. Death Grip, Chains of Ice, and Asphyxiate. I just have it as Strang in case I decide to ever run Chillblains. In addition, I have my present switching macro, which will switch between Frost Presence and Blood Presence all in one macro. I don't have to worry about, you know, having two keybinds. I can just keep it all in one. And I also will use a separate macro, excuse me, for Pillar and for my Trinket, being that Breath of Sindragosa has a 2-minute cooldown and these only have a 1-minute cooldown. There might be situations where I want to pop them in arena separately from Breath of Sindragosa. So I would highly recommend having a separate button with your Trinket and your Pillar, being that they both share a 1-minute cooldown, and then have a big macro that pops all of them at the same time. So honestly, 2H Frost is just as simple as DW in terms of macros. There really isn't a lot to worry about. The macro video that will be more in depth is when I do my guide on Unholy, because as you can see, all of these macros I didn't talk about are all Unholy macros. So Unholy, you know, it's not super complicated, but it has some more depth to it. So stay tuned for the third video, which will cover my abilities and rotation. And if you haven't, again, check out the first one. So guys, don't forget, like and subscribe. As always, I'm Dottz Gaming. Have a good day, guys.